Hi there guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2018 video. Today we're back with the 170 enhancement pack. I know it's controversial, but I love it. We are doing a scenario that's just been updated for the AP42 scenario pack from Armstrong Powerhouse. This is a Great Yarmouth-Norwich service. We'll start with the briefing. Hello driver, first things first, load unknown passengers here at Great Yarmouth. Where you booked to depart at 0845, you will then call at Acle, Lingwood, Norwich. Please note though, word has come through that 2P120836 Norwich Great Yarmouth service is yet to depart Norwich, so it's likely you will get held at Acle longer than usual due to wait for its passing. Okay, let's get everything set up and we'll get ready to go. Let's open those doors. Let's get our headlights on, our tail lights off. Let's master key on, into neutral. Cool, alright then. DRA can come off, because I'll just forget it. Now I've turned the desktop volume up, so the game volume up a little bit on this one. People said they couldn't, so a couple of people complained that they couldn't hear the 170 enough in my last video, so hopefully I've got the balance about right, and it works. So it's died down a little bit. The hype about the pack, the negativity about the pack, that seems to have died down a little bit, so that's good. And I'm all pleased with it. There's already been some upgrades and livery enhancements from the likes of Chris Horsfield, CH Scenarios, Ash Clark. He's managed to convert his 170 reskins to work with the pack and everything, so we're slowly getting there with it. Do expect some more 170 videos. You know I like the 170, and you know that I will be doing a fair on this. I've got one to do, quite a long one actually, over 100 miles on the cross-country route to do. Just waiting for that scenario to be sent over to me by the creator himself. So it should all be good. I'm going to go through a little bit of history of the 170s while we're driving as well today. As well as list. Oh, I didn't do this in my last video. I said I would. I did the station pass, the pulling away shot that I said I would do. It's also really nice to be back on the Wherry lines. One of my favourite routes in Train Simulator. Level of detail is unbelievable. I know that Armstrong Powerhouse aren't planning on doing any other routes in the near future, but I would love to see them one day do something to this standard again. It's the real subtle difference between idle and notch one that I really like in this pack. Those of you that have been on 170s a lot will know that noise. So I went through some of the statistics on the 170 the last time, but I'll just go through sort of who's done what, who's owned what, who's run what, that sort of thing in this video. So the Class 170 Turbo Star is a British diesel multiple unit train built by Bombardier Transportation, previously Adtrans. They were all built at Derby Litchess Lane Works, introduced after privatisation. These trains have operated regional as well as long distance services and to a lesser extent suburban services. 122 units were built. The class's development and design of the British Rail Class 165 and 166 DMUs, known as the Networker Turbos, which were built by British Rail Engineering Limited and later ABB. Before the company became part of Bombardier, so ABB were bought out by Bombardier I'm trying to think what year. Probably 97, 96, 97. Notable features shared are the aluminium alloy frame, void transmission, as well as general body shape. The cab ends are similar to those of the Class 168, but not Class 165, 166. I'm speeding already. Oh, it's nice to hear the jointed track, isn't it? We'll get that whine with the jointed track, that should be quite nice. Interior design and door fittings. The final drive is sourced from ZF instead of Minder, and the diesel engine supplied by MTU. The engine and transmission are located under the body. One bogie per coach is powered. All coaches in the set are powered when in use. There are no unpowered trailers. These units can work in multiple with trains of the 15X series, i.e. sprinters, and with other units of the same class. They are unable to operate in multiple with units in the 16 series due to different wiring arrangements. So even though they came from the 16 series, they can't actually work with them. Seating arrangements are of both 2+1 first class and 2+2 in standard formation, and they give seated passenger capacity between 100 and 200 per 3-car set, depending on specifications of the operator. 2-car sets are also operated. The Class 170s have been categorised into 6 subclasses. The basic specification remains the same, e.g. engine length and transmission, etc. The differences being seating arrangements specified by different operators. Because of different interior fitting, subclasses differ in weight from one another by a small amount, up to 2 tonnes. Also, like the air dams over the overriders at the front and all that jazz. All subclasses were built at Derby under Adtrans or Bombardier ownership. Most are owned by Porterbrook, although 174, 16 to 424 are owned by Eversholt, and these are leased train operating companies. So you've got Scotland, Northern England, Midlands. They cover a lot of it. Eastern England, South West England, South England. They cover all over the place. We'll go through that as we get going as well. We've got 5 miles till we get to Acre anyway. So it's not long, but it's a nice time just to enjoy the sounds of it more than anything. And enjoy the route. It's quite weird when you get a train sim that you are on quite a lot. You start listening out for how the real drivers drive them. So with the 170s, it's quite distinctive through the power notches. And listening to it in train sim, I realise how shonky my driving is. So, Scotland-wise, for 170s, Abellio ScotRail is the largest operator for the 170s, with a fleet comprising of 55 3-car sets. Originally, 34 of these sets had first-class accommodation, and they're mainly used in the Edinburgh, Glasgow, Queen Street, Inverness, Glasgow, Edinburgh and Aberdeen, Glasgow services. An additional 9 units were ordered and operated by Strathclyde Partnership for Transport, SPT. These are now under the direction of Transport Scotland, which has authority over the entire ScotRail area. A further 4 3-car sets fitted with mini buffets were obtained from Hull trains, but the buffets are out of use and all 4 units were converted to standard class only in 2012. So that was still a question in my head. I didn't know if they still existed with the buffets in them somewhere. All units are allocated to Edinburgh Haymarket Depot in September 2008. The Scottish Government agency, Transport Scotland, announced that ScotRail trains, including those from Strathclyde Partnership for Transport, would eventually be repainted in new blue livery with the saltire markings on the carriage ends, a livery which I love. All unit... Oh, no, I read that bit. In December 2008, half the stand class only 170-450-5 were fitted with first class sections. 170-456 and 170-457 were fitted with first class in December 2011. In April 2015, 170-421 and 421-424 left ScotRail to go to Southern and be modified to become 171s. ScotRail are also losing quite a few of their 170s, as far as I'm aware, heading down to Northern. That brings us on nicely to Northern England. First Trans-Pennine Express operated 9 Class 170s used on the Manchester Piccadilly to Hull route. Originally, the Class 185s were set to operate the route, but a combination of weight restriction problems on the Selby to Hull line, chronic overcrowding on several other companies. We need to start slowing down. Some of the company's services and government reducing the amount of money available to First Trans-Pennine Express for new trains resulted in the 170s coming into service. From September 2009, 2 170s were used Sundays to Thursdays on the Cleethorpes Manchester Airport service as well. This is one of those routes I really should know without the HUD, isn't it? So I did say we might be held here a little bit longer than we wanted to be, just due to the Norwich train departing late. There we go. Was it Acre I said we'd be held at? Yeah. Going to be here a minute or two. Just sounds right, is the only way I can describe it. So Northern England, what do we say, Cleethorpes service? So First Trans-Pennine Express received 8 turbo stars from South West Trains at the end of 2006 and start of 2007, as well as 17399 from Central Trains in November 2007, which was renumbered to 17309. The units were maintained by Bombardier at Crofton. The 170s have since been fully refurbished to include CCTV, power sockets throughout, the replacement of carpet seat covers and the removal and declassification of one of the 2 first-class sections, providing more seats. The work was carried out by Transis at Clacton-on-Sea. Well, there you go. Don't hear much them doing too much these days, do you? However, in March 2014, it was revealed that the 9 turbo stars would move to Chiltern Railways. MP Stephen Hammond revealed on the 12th of March 2014 that all the 170/3s would remain with First Transpennine Express until May 2015 timetable change, when Chiltern would take 5 of the 170s with the remaining 4 remaining with First Transpennine Express until the end of the franchise in March 2016. It was then later changed to the 8th of July 2016. Upon delivery, the Class 170s were modified to be used with Chiltern's existing Class 168 fleets and were subsequently reclassified as 168-3s. Today, the number of the units is 168-321 to 168-329. So there you go. Oh, there's those cooling fans kicking in. It's July. It's hot. This unit's been ragged a little bit. The next bit goes on about Hull trains. Hull trains began London King's Cross to Hull service using Turbo Stars initially, with 4 sets on short-term lease from Anglia Railways. It received, in 2004, it received 4 of its own 3-car Class 173s and returned the original units to Anglia. In 2005, following its acquisition by First Group, Hull Trains received new Class 222/1 Pioneer units and transferred the Turbo Stars to its sister company, First ScotRail. So the first Hull Trains ones are the interesting 170s for me. They were the ones that, I think they were probably the first 170s that I saw. It was probably stand at Peterborough Station. Sorry, they're not the first 170s I saw. They were the first 170s I saw doing like long distance stuff. One of the only. Midland Main Line did it as well, but I never saw those. But being at Peterborough Station, seeing them buzzing past, or being at Huntingdon and seeing them buzzing past, I used to really like seeing them. It's quite rare, quite weird to see this 3-car Turbo Star mixed in with 91s and 43s. It's very cool. So Midlands wise, Midland Main Line was the first operator to order Turbo Stars, the first being introduced in 1998. The Class 170 were built. The Class 170/1s were built immediately after the Class 160s were built for Chiltern Railways. Midland Main Line ordered a fleet of 17 2-car Class 170 units, although the first 10 were subsequently made up of 3 cars each. The units were introduced on stopping services from London St Pancras to Leicester, Derby and Nottingham. Some were also used on summer Saturday-only services from London to York, which later became a year-round service with summer extension to Scarborough. Cool. Then we go into Central Trains, which were the Central Trains would have been the first 170s I saw at Peterborough. Central Trains had a fleet of 53 Class 170 units from various subclasses. In 1999, Central received its first batch of 23 2-car Class 170/5s and 10 3-car 170/6s. These were used to replace the 156 on various longer distance services. From late 2004, Central also took 3 Class 173s on lease from Porterbrook, and all 3 of these units contained first class accommodation, which was declassified as first class travel was not provided on Central Train services. I didn't know that, you know. The 2 3-car units interiors are Central Train style, except the Midland Main Line style first class, and the 2-car units had a South West Trains interior. After the Central Trains franchise ended, the 2 3-car units remained with a new operator cross country, and 1 2-car unit was returned to Porterbrook, which it then leased to First Transpennine Express. Because this is hard. All these subclasses and interior differences are all pretty mad, aren't they? We then go on to Anglia. Anglia Railways ordered 2 batches of Turbo Stars. The first batch of 3-car Class 170/2s were built for London Liverpool Street, Ipswich, Norwich, Lower Stafford and Bury St Edmunds services. These supplemented the existing Class 86 locomotive haul trains from London to Norwich. 4 of these units were later hired to Hull Trains from 2002 to 2004, before that company acquired its own Turbo Stars. Other units, including the spot hire set numbers 17399, were used on Anglia's short-lived Norwich Basingstoke to London Crosslink service, which is the scenario I did the other day. It was in 2002. Anglia introduced a new Cambridge to Norwich direct service and acquired 4 two-car units dedicated to work in these services. In 2004, the Greater Anglia franchise was won by National Express subsidiary One and rebranded as National Express East Anglia in 2008 and passed on to Abellio Greater Anglia in 2012. Since then, two-car turbo stars have been used on the Cambridge to Norwich route and on the new through services including Cambridge via Ipswich, Bury St Edmunds via Ipswich, Peterborough via Ipswich and Lowestoft via Ipswich, and East Suffolk Line or Ipswich and Norwich, London Liverpool Street via Ipswich. Although with the new timetable, all Class 170s London services ended in December 2010 in favour of connecting branch line trains with Great Eastern Main Line expresses. The three-car trains used to include a buffet and larger first-class area, but because more seating was needed, the buffet area was removed and the number of first-class seats reduced. I vaguely also remember having a guards compartment in the middle, or that might have been the cross-country ones, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I live right next to the Cambridge Ipswich branch. And whereas we used to get a lot of 156s, 150s, that sort of jazz, it's all now 170s. For the very odd occasion, you get 156s. Which is a shame, I like a 156, but the 170s are definitely nicer to travel on. So we'll just carry on waiting until we can get, what did it say, our Norwich arrival time, 08:36. Oh, that's yet to depart. Norwich 9:16. Not long. Most of this journey, I suppose, is sitting here. Let's have a beautiful look at these fields. Oh, are we in Farm Simulator or are we in Train Simulator? Got a lot of buses out this way, didn't you? Right, there should be a 156 coming through any time now. It could be 153 actually. Should we have a look and see where it is? Oh, there. Oh, it's not. It's going to be a 37 set. Which will be a nice screenshot, I think. Yeah, 37 set. Let's not worry about the 37 in this one. I'll just have to pause it, and we've been sitting here long enough, haven't we? What's that set up there? Cross the line by the footbridge only. Right, that's us got the signal. Just had to have a quick look at the Mark IIs, I'm sorry. Actually, that could work out to be a very nice screenshot if that's stopping as well. Let's try and make up for some lost time. Not that we can go razzing it, because we've got 20 limit until we get out of here. 50 then 60 though. So, South West England, South West Trains acquired a fleet of 2-car Class 170/3s in 2000, later supplemented to 9 units by ex-Southern 170/392s, 392, something existing 159 fleet. Units operate in the London Waterloo to Salisbury, Reading to Brighton, Southampton local services, and occasionally on the Exeter St David's, though this was not a regular route for these units. As they do not have gangway ends, making it difficult to provide a trolley service, and they lack selective door opening for the short platforms at stations on the route west of Salisbury. All but one of these units were transferred to First Transpennine Express at the end of 2006 in exchange for some 158 Express Sprinters. So that's quite weird, isn't it, that they swapped out 170s for 158s. Now 158s are a venerable unit. I mean, they're nice, they're good, they do the job well. Unit 17392 was transferred back to its original intended operator of Southern and has since been reclassified and renumbered from 17392 to 171730. So Southern England. Southern obtained 6 2-car Class 170/7 units along with 4-car Class 171/8 units in 2003 to replace its ageing Class 205 and 207 units on services on the Marshling Line, Oxted Line and Uckfield. Am I stopping at Lingwood? Yes, I am. Southern later fitted these units with Delner-type couplers used on its 171s, reclassifying its 2-car units as Class 171/7s. Replacing the standard BSI coupler fitted to 170, this was done to allow them to couple to 377s in emergencies. So Armstrong Powerhouse have modelled that as well, and they just don't look right. Not the Armstrong Powerhouse ones don't look right. The real life ones don't look right either to me. It's really odd. Southern later acquired 17392 from Southwest Trains, which became its 10th two-car 171730. This unit had already carried Southern livery, being ordered as an add-on to Southern's order to save costs. It was delivered accordingly in Southern livery as 17727. It was renumbered and reliveried at Ashford Chart-Leakin Works before entering traffic. At the end of the first ScotRail franchise in March 2015, 17416 to 17424 were returned to Eversholt Rail Group. The first 5 will remain in Scotland on sublease to Bellio ScotRail until March 2018, while 17421 to 17424 moved to Wolverton Railway Works in April 2015. They were overhauled and converted to Class 171s and became 2-car 171/2s and 2 4-car Class 171/4s. This is hard reading, this. In August 2016, Abellio selected bimode units for the East Anglia franchise, meaning that all its Class 170s are scheduled to be replaced by Class 755s in 2020. A total of 16 Class 170 units will be cascaded to Northern from Abellio ScotRail in 2018. So that's your history of where they are, what they're doing, how they're doing. For those of you that don't know what the 755 is, it's a class of bimode multiple unit built by Stadler for Great Wrangler. They're a Flirt modular train family. So there's the 745s, which are what are replacing the 90s and Mark 3s, and the 755s, which are replacing 153s, 156s and 170s. So there's also building a new depot for them at Brantham. Near Manningtree. Love this junction here. an interesting time for Anglia and the railways with this new fleet order. It'll be the first time that the Great Eastern Main Line has had brand new stock, I think. Dedicated brand new stock for donkey's years. I mean, from an operator's point of view, just operating two fleets built and maintained by the same company must be a godsend. Must be like the ideal. They're both flirt designs, modular. As an enthusiast, it's a bit boring, but the railways aren't run for us, which is a shame. I'm really rubbish at spotting orange men. Really rubbish. Goes to show you how hard it must be for actual drivers, though, to spot them as well. At least our road in looks pretty clear. Nice that 153 sitting there. What have we got at Crown Point? Nothing really that interesting. It is rush hour. Or I shouldn't say rush hour, I should say peak. It's peak time. Didn't see that sneaky 15 coming up to me that quick. I know it's pointless speeding up just to slow down again, but every little helps. Alright then guys, thank you ever so much for joining me in this wonderful video of the 170EP again. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe to this video. The more you guys are watching, the more videos I can produce. Do head on over to the Facebook page if you haven't been there already. Join in, let us know what you think. And I'm looking forward to bringing you in the next couple of weeks some really exciting bits and pieces that I'm working on with some people. So keep your eyes peeled for uploaded videos in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, I reckon. Also my way up to Crewe as well at some point soon, so expect a video with that as well. Let's get those doors open, shut down my cab. So once again guys, thanks ever so much for joining me, and I will catch you again next time.